Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this live cast. And we're simulcasting everywhere. I'd like to welcome you here today. And what we're going to speak about is 10 ways parents program their kids to stay poor. Now, before anything else, I want to let you know if you can't stay for the whole thing, probably the most important lesson you need to learn is in the first one that I'm going to say in just a few moments. If you're new, I'd like to welcome you and tell you to go ahead and subscribe so you can see new things coming up. And if you're already subscribed, I'd like to welcome you here to our community. So let's get going right away. 10 ways parents program their kids to stay poor. First of all, why did I do this? Well, unfortunately, you probably understand that poor people continue to be poor because of the way they're programmed. If you ever notice, like rich people, they might lose all their money, but within a very short time, they get it right back again. That's because of their program. They're programmed to be successful. No matter what happens, they're always successful. They always fall on their feet. Whereas poor people, even if they win the lottery, and you probably know a lot of people like this, they win the lottery, they have millions of dollars, but within a year, 2 years, they're broke again. And that also is because of their programming. Unfortunately, we're not taught how to be wealthy or wealth programming in school. Okay. And from our families, you get generational programming. You're teaching your children the way you were taught, and you're taught the way your parents were taught, and they're taught the way theirs were. So if you come from a generation of lack, okay, of poverty, it's just going to keep on getting pushed down. The good thing about it is you can learn what you've been doing wrong. And I want you to look at these to see if you've been doing any of these or if you were taught any of these. And you can change it where it comes to working with your children, with your families. So let's go ahead and get started. Number one is, you've probably heard this, parents telling you, you need to work hard for your money. You need to get a 40-hour-a-week job. You need to work 20, 25 years and retire. That's the way to be successful. Think about that. Work 40 hours a week, 20, 25 years. First of all, if you don't like the job, okay, you've been pretty miserable. Raluca and I have been self-employed, well, as long as I've known Raluca, but I've been self-employed for, probably 35, 40 years. I couldn't imagine going to a 40-hour-a-week job. I think on the first day, the boss would tell me to go do something, and I'd say, no, you do it. I don't want to. I'm used to my freedom. I'm used to doing what I want when I want. And I think that has a lot to do with my happiness. Okay. I feel like I haven't been caged in. I've been living for many years. When people say, well, what do you want to do this weekend? It's like, I've done it during the week. I mean, what's your goals? A lot of my goals I'm living. I have a happy life because I'm not stuck to that. Being self-employed, you are in control of your schedule. You are in control of your income. But in spite of all that, the one lesson I want you to pick up, the most important one, is if you want to earn lots of money, for you self-employed people, hypnotherapists, whatever you're doing, if you want to earn lots of money, the way you're going to do it is by helping people solve their problems. People have problems. What can you do to help them? Solving other people's problems will make you wealthy. Think of the wealthiest entrepreneurs that you know. How are they doing it? Or how did they do it? By helping people solve their problems, by solving a problem that they have, making things easier, making things quicker, making things more affordable. If you can help people to solve their problems, that's why I'm in this field as a hypnotherapist. What do people constantly come see you for? Different kinds of problems: smoking, weight loss, stress, confidence, PTSD, all these different problems. And the list goes on and on. It's unlimited. You can help them. And by helping them, people keep on coming back. Hey, he helped me with this. He helped me with that. So you never have a shortage of clients. So that's the one thing. Remember, whatever job you're in, whatever business, if you can help people with their problems, you're going to be valuable. You're going to stay in business. Okay. Oh, here I am talking about all this, but one thing I didn't do is, let's see, I have these banners. There we go. So there's number one, you need to work hard for your money. Number two, the second thing people always say is study hard. So you get a good paying job and you become rich. Study hard. Okay. Think about that. Starting a business is the way to become rich. That's why this country has been built on entrepreneurs. The business owners are the wealthy ones. Think of that. People go to school, they get straight A's, they come out, with top grades. They get these big diplomas, and what do? They go out and they work for someone who owns a business. Ooh, I was told the other day that it's all the A+ students that are now working for the C and B and C grade students, because they're the ones that get out and started their own business. They're the ones that probably, a lot of them got right out of high school and started a business. And who are they hiring? The smartest people they know, the college grads. But who's making the money off of them? The owner, the business owner. So being a business owner is a way to be wealthy. Think of this. Rich people choose to get paid based on results. Poor people choose to get paid based on time, the time they put in. Number 3, always cut down expenses and conserve what you have. Have you been told that? You got to cut down. You get too many expenses. You have to, whittle this down and whittle that down. How can you stop this and how can you stop that? Rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game not to lose. So where is your focus? To make money or to cut down debt? Rather than focusing on lack and worry and cutting debt, think of this. More money coming in solves everything. Remember, according to the law of attraction, whatever you focus on always comes to you. You always attract what you focus on. That's one of the biggest traits of the subconscious mind that we teach with hypnosis all the time. So what are you focusing on? Wealth or scarcity? Making more money or cutting the bills? And if you're cutting the bills, what are you focusing on? Bills. And you're going to have more and more and more and not have enough to continue to pay for them. Either way, whether you're focusing on wealth or scarcity, you're going to always get it. So what should you focus on? Number 4, self-help is a lot of baloney. I've been hearing this for a long time. Oh, that self-help thing is a lot of baloney. Sometimes they didn't use the word baloney. So you can go into student debt for tens of thousands of dollars to get a professional job, or you can save so much money learning from others who already know it. Think of that. To become successful, it's knowledge. It's continuing to learn. Are you a learned person or are you a learning person? I call college people, college grads, learned people. And you heard, oh, he's very learned because he went to school and he learned, and that's it. Now they start working. A learning person is someone who is always reading the book and learning. Most entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, are constantly reading, constantly studying, constantly growing, because they understand that learning is a lifelong process. You are building your biggest asset. And what's your biggest asset? Yourself, your own mind. It's kind of funny. I remember a story about Henry Ford. And for those of you that know, Henry Ford is the one that founded the Ford Motor Company. He was one of the richest people in the world back then. Now, Henry Ford, I believe, only had like a 4th grade education, but he was a learning man. I remember this reporter, or I heard the story of this reporter who wanted to, you know how they have negative journalism sometimes? Oh, not possible, right? Well, he wanted to interview Henry Ford to make him look silly, to make him look like a dummy. So he asked Henry Ford, he says, with all this business and his 8-cylinder cars, which that's because of him. He came up with the 8-cylinder car when he said it couldn't be done, and all the different, engineering things. How do you know all that stuff if you only have a 4th grade education? And Henry Ford says, I have this thing on my desk. He says, it's right over there. He is pointing at the telephone. He says, where all I have to do is pick it up and I can get the answer to anything. Of course, now we call it the internet. But he had so many people he knew. He said, I have so many people in my employ, learned people. I have engineers and scientists that any question I have, all I have to do is pick up the phone and the answer's there. So success isn't in having a degree. Success is in being able to get the information as you need it, when you need it, to have these people be able to help you. So he had all the knowledge that he needed. So rich people constantly learn and grow. Poor people think they already know. So are you learned or are you learning? And that's one of the things that we try to help people here at the American School of Hypnosis. That's what it's all about. We have proven courses that can help you, such as to be a hypnotherapist. You don't have to go out and take years to learn it all on your own. Sure, you could probably learn it all on Google, but we have put courses together. We've used them. We've become successful with them. So you're taking the advantage of our time and experience and having a course where you can help other people solve their problems and make a great income doing it. Number 5, take a deep breath. Your destiny is out of your hands. How many times have you heard that from people and maybe even your parents? Okay, your destiny is out of your hands. It's going to happen the way it happens. Rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me. You see the difference? One, you're in control. The other one, your life is going by default. You are the only creator of your life. Either you steer it to where you want it to go, or it will be driven for you by default. Here's an example. You're walking down the street, okay, and you drop a $20 bill on the ground. You have a choice. You can pick it up, take control, and have your $20, or wait for someone else to make that decision for you by having them pick it up and run off with it. Okay, you're in a busy intersection and you need to park somewhere. You're going around the block and, oh, there's an empty parking spot. Either you make the decision to take that spot, or someone else is going to make that decision for you by default. They're going to take it. And so many people live their lives by default. They go to school, they graduate high school, they go to college, the same places maybe their friends or their people that they know go, and they graduate with the same type thing. They do the same type job. They do have a family like their parents did. It's almost like a routine. They're just following in place of what should happen. They get bounced from here. They lose this job. They go for whatever they can find. They're not saying, I want to do this and going for it. So you create your own destiny. Oh, here's a fun one. Number 6. People like us can't get rich. Okay. You ever heard that before? People like us can't get wealthy. People like us, it's just not for us. Okay. That's a limiting belief. That's your generational programming. Think of it. We've been programmed by our parents, by our environment. Okay. It's a generational programming. It can take years to reprogram yourself from what your families and your parents implanted in your minds. And that's the beauty that with our courses, here's another plug for you. We can help you get on the fast track to getting your life where you want to be. And that's the whole reason why we teach these things, how to use your subconscious mind to control your life, how to get there quicker. So rich people focus on opportunities, and you have opportunities. Poor people focus on obstacles. They focus on what's in the way. And remember, whatever you focus on, you attract more of, so you're getting more of what's in your way. And here we go. Number 7. Try to fit in as much as possible. You ever heard that when your first day of school and your parents told you, Johnny, I want you to fit in. Just do what everybody else does. You'll be fine. No genius ever fit in. Think about the geniuses or the super wealthy people in life, okay? First of all, do you think Einstein ever fit in anywhere? I don't think so. Thomas Edison, let's pick somebody that's still alive, Elon Musk. There's someone who never fit in, but look where he is. Okay, genius doesn't fit in. Most people look at geniuses, especially when they're young, as there's something wrong with them. They need special needs. No, they just haven't been challenged enough. So genius never, ever fits in. People want you to fit into their expectations so you don't leave them behind. They don't want to be left alone. They want you to be right with them. Standing out is what makes you succeed. You need to stand on your own 2 feet. Rich people associate with positive, successful people, and there's a lot fewer of them. Poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people, and there's an awful lot of them. It's a big group. So if you want to be part of a big group, just be like everybody else. But in the future, you're going to be like everybody else, wishing you did something else to be more successful. So be yourself. Be unique. Number 8. Oh, I'm sure you've heard this one. There's not enough to go around. We just don't have enough. Okay, that's an outright lie. I had heard somewhere before that there are enough resources in this country to give every single person a house the size of the White House and still have a lot left over. Okay, so we have the resources. The universe is limitless. And fortunately, not everybody wants the same thing. Right now, think of your favorite car. If you could have any car, if you were 100% rich as you could be, what would be the first car you'd buy? Okay. And on the count of 3, I want you to say the car's name, and I'm going to say mine too. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Dodge pickup truck. Okay, I said a Dodge. How many of you said that? I bet you 99% of you didn't say that. Some people said Lamborghini. That's what the last. If somebody gave me a Lamborghini, I'd sell it to get 3 pickups. Okay. Some people will say Lamborghini, Mercedes Benz, Rolls Royce, because not everybody wants the same thing. So there's enough resources for everybody to have their dream, because we don't all want the same thing. There's no competition. You need to get rid of the competitive mind. There's just so much. Like I said, the universe is limitless. Wealthy people think big, while poor people think small. I think we all have a habit of doing that. I've caught myself quite a few times. I should say Raluca's caught me quite a few times, where I'll be in a store and she'll say, "What's the matter?" Of course, I'm in my toy store, Home Depot or Lowe's, and I'm saying, I'd really like to get the router, but I don't know, the lathe is pretty cool. The router or the lathe? You help me make the decision. She'll look at me and say, "Get both." Why does it have to be one or the other? Pie or cake? How about cake? That's putting them together, pie and cake. But instead of, poor people think either or, should I get this or should I get that? Whereas wealthy people think both. Whether you can afford both or not, have the both mentality, because when you think either or, you're focusing on lack. You're focusing on not enough. What are you attracting? Not enough. So be a both-minded person. Both-minded person. Number 9. It's just not in the cards. Being wealthy is not in the cards. You should be happy with what you have. You should settle and be happy. Have you ever been told that? Have you been living that kind of life? Are you happy? We're talking about that yesterday. We went someplace. Where did we go yesterday? We've been going out shopping a lot. Oh, we're up in Augusta. We went to the Augusta Mall and all. They have some really nice shops. And on the way back, she just turns to me and says, "Are you happy? Am I happy? Are you happy? Are you happy with the life that you have right now?" Because I've said quite a bit in the past that if you're not happy with what you're doing, you should be doing something else. It's kind of a job. If you can't get along, then get along, move, do something. What makes you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy going to college? Some people say, I'm going to get a 6-year, education, a doctorate and but are you happy while you're going through school? Are you miserable? Why spend all the time being miserable? If you're happy with it, great. Because if you're not happy now, 6 years from now, the job you want might not even be there. So are you enjoying the trip? You need to enjoy the trip, the journey of what you're doing. Wealthy people play the money game to win. See the focus of winning? Poor people play the money game not to lose. Like I said earlier, there's enough for everybody. So as for it's not in the cards for you, it is in the cards for you. If it's not in the cards for you, get a different deck of cards, okay? Because it is there. Whatever you want, you can have if you focus on it and work towards it. And finally, number 10, drum roll, everyone. If something makes you scared, do something else. You ever heard that before? Your parents tell you, oh, if it's too hard, just move on. If it's too scary, don't do it, okay? Rich people act in spite of fear. Poor people let fear stop them, and they go elsewhere. So right now, think of it. What are you working towards? Are you afraid of something? List your greatest worries, your concerns, your fears regarding money or regarding what you want to do to be wealthy. What's standing in your way? Think of that. So go ahead and list it right now. And what I want you to do with those biggest fears is I want you to challenge them. For each one, write down what would you do if that situation that you were afraid of actually happened. What would you do? Oh, I'm afraid that if I tried my new career and it didn't work, I would lose everything and I'd be in the poor farm. Write it down. What is it you're actually worried about? Once you write it down and you see exactly what's bothering you, in spite of that fear, what happened in that fear or what you're worried about actually happened, could you still survive? Would you be able to recover from it? Chances are the answer is yes, because your fear always seems bigger than the actual situation. Fear, think of it, FEAR, the acronym, false evidence appearing real. Fear isn't real. It's a worry of the future. Because life is now, right now, this moment. Right now, while you're watching me and I'm speaking to you, everything is just the way it is. There's nothing to fear. There is no stress in the now. Fear comes from the future, from the unknown. So think of that. It's like a shadow, okay? There's a big street light behind you, and it's nighttime, and you look and you see this huge shadow on the wall of this humongous person, and you start getting scared. What is it? It's your own shadow, but it's blowing up. Okay, so fear, it's not real. It's just your expectation or your worry about some unknown thing. So quit worrying right now and decide to become wealthy. Think of that. You need to make that challenge, that choice. So challenge the little voices in your head whenever it tells you, I can't do it, or I don't want to, or I don't feel like it. Okay? Whenever the voice tries to stop you from doing something that would be supportive to your success, do it anyway. Do it anyway. You're the boss, not it. So are you ready to change your life? Remember, you get wealthy by solving other people's problems. You get wealthy by solving other people's problems. So if you'd like to see, if you're not in the situation, how you can solve other people's problems and make an exceptional income doing it, go to the link below this video in the description and take a look at our courses. You can become certified as a hypnotherapist, or we have over 50 different courses, from being a comedy hypnotist to doing forensic hypnosis, working with children, working with PTSD, with the elderly. There's courses for being able to help all kinds of people overcome their problems. And it will be very rewarding as well. So I thank you for following along with me, especially if you're still watching. I wish you the very best of success, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye now. Oops, I'm actually trying to find how to sign off. Here it is. Bye-bye.